Just waking up from the hospital, trying to understand what was going on, trying to manage my emotions. And at that age, it was so hard for me to process it, much less speak about it. So coming home from intensive care unit, which I was in for several months, my life completely changed.
Welcome to From the Script, a platform where my authors, my scribes, TV, film, and songwriters are able to peel back the letters of their stories and share so much more. I am your host, Armourie. I am delighted to be here with y'all today. And let me tell y'all, I'm extremely excited about today's episode because, baby, we have a powerhouse in the studio with us today. I mean, talk about a happiness coach, the published author of One Arm But Not Unarmed, a two-time TEDx speaker, okay? And I should have to say this, Miss Universal Empire inaugural queen, okay? We have someone queening with us today. Please help me welcome my dearest friend, Suzan. How are you, sis?
Oh, what an introduction.
Come on. That's what we love. Give me all of this energy, okay?
Oh, I love you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I've missed you so much.
I know, I miss you too. Like, we have these get-togethers, and when we go too long without getting together, we have deprivation of passions, okay? I'm like, sis, where are you at? We need your energy.
I agree. I'm so happy to be here. I love you. I miss you. I could say it over and over.
I know, same here. I'm glad that you're here. My goodness, I don't even know where to begin, but how about, please, let's run it back, sis. Let's talk about how you came to be the amazing woman that you are today.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. It means more to me than you imagine. Well, at the age of 22, I was involved in a traumatic car accident, and in result of that, losing my dominant arm. I was 22. I was living my best life. I was a social butterfly, and I was very confident of who I was becoming, right? And one night, a couple of friends and I decided to get out the house and do something fun, right? We're 22, we're carefree, it's the weekend, and that was the worst decision of my entire life. So we got in the car, hit up a few places, and on the way home, I was the driver behind the wheel. And there was a car that skidded on the side of the road into my lane. And so being the unexperienced driver that I was at the age of 22, I panicked when the car skidded into my lane, and I lost control of the wheel. And the next thing you know, the car was rolling over and over, screeching noise, screeching tires, loud noises, and my body was ejected from the windshield. My body landed about 50 feet away from the vehicle. Yeah. The last thing I remembered was laying on the wet ground, because it was raining, drizzling.
Wow. My God. And
a bright light above me, and I could hear people screaming and running, and I could hear my friends screaming and yelling, oh my God, are you okay? And I wanted to answer, I wanted to signal with my eyeballs, but there's nothing I could do. Like, it was so wild, because that was supposed to be my most painful moment in life, but I couldn't feel a thing. I was completely numb, but seeing the facial expressions on the people that were checking on me, that were screaming and yelling, I knew there was something terribly wrong. So a piece of the car landed on my arm and severed it completely. Yeah. Arriving to the hospital, the doctors were telling me how fortunate I was, right? You are so lucky. You have no idea how lucky you are. And I'm thinking in my head, is this doctor crazy? What is he talking about? Come to find out, if the ambulance had not arrived when they did, if they were 60 seconds later, I would have been in a vegetative state due to shock. So I wouldn't be here with you today.
Oh my God. Talk about the power of timing and the power of God. Wow. Wow. I'm trying to even keep it together right now. Y'all, Suzan is a very, very, very close person. Like, you are so close to me. When I hear your story, it reminds me of your resilience. It reminds me of how you pour so much into people and how you are just this ball of fire and nothing could stop you. Just hearing you unravel what happened that day, it's just mind-blowing to see how grateful we are to have the opportunity to live our life, share our story, and impact individuals. And I've seen you do that in so many unique ways. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that with our viewers about how you came to be the amazing woman you are today. And this is literally, when I mean y'all, this is only scratching the surface of her story. She is so prevalent in everything that she is doing. And just a little bit about backstory. We have been following and filming Suzan for quite some time now. And it's ironic because the very first event I remember getting footage at was your book signing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like blown away to feel the magnitude in that room and to see the impact that you were making on every person that was walking through the door. That turnout was amazing. And so please, like, talk about powerful. Please help me understand, how did the inspiration behind your book come about and what made you select that title?
Great. Thank you. Great question. So going back to that story briefly, right? I went through depression, right? Lowest moments of my entire life. You can imagine being the tender age of 22, right? Becoming a woman and waking up to doctors telling you that we had to amputate your arm. So ta-da, you're an amputee, right? So just waking up from the hospital, trying to understand what was going on, trying to manage my emotions. And at that age, it was so hard for me to process it, much less speak about it. So coming home from intensive care unit, which I was in for several months, my life completely changed, right? Looking in the mirror, I felt like a complete monster. And just learning how to do everything with one hand was really difficult. And that's where I realized my darkest moments were, right? Learning how to curl my hair, apply makeup, brush my teeth. I mean, the most simple things that we take for granted on a regular basis, on a daily basis, I had to learn how to do that again, how to dress myself, how to put on my bra. I mean, every little thing was an uphill battle. So going through all of that and self-medicating, and in my book, I talk about ending up behind bars because I let my anger consume me. So I could stay here and talk about it for a very long time, but I will move forward. So just going through the depression and all of my lowest moments and really learning about myself, and I had a turning point.
This episode of From the Script is brought to you by the Creators Guild HTX. Please be sure to tap in with them. They are the one-stop shop for podcasting, production, and so much more. If you are looking to book your next session, please visit theguildhtx.com and just tap in with them. You never know what visions you're able to bring to life with them. So let's get it.
After being released from behind bars, out on bond, right? It was so humiliating, right? So embarrassing. I was at home and I had just such heavy weight on my chest, on my shoulders, and my heart. I was thinking, first I lose my arm, now potentially I'm gonna lose my freedom because everything I've gone through is just eating me alive. Wow. So I've been crying for hours on end, to the point my eyes were very puffy. The sun was rising and I was still crying from dusk till dawn, right? And I remember seeing the sun peeking through the blinds, and I was just an emotional wreck. Couldn't stop crying, panic attack. I mean, I just felt every negative emotion you could imagine. And that moment when I saw the sun peeking through the blinds was when I realized I needed to do better, because I was so bitter. I was terribly bitter. I was angry. I was resentful. I was ashamed of myself. I mean, it was the lowest low, right? Lowest moment of my entire life. So that was my turning point. And after that, I knew I needed to take steps, baby steps, and figure out how I was going to be better, right? It's easier said than done, right? And this was going to be a long journey ahead. It wasn't going to be an overnight process. But I took baby steps. Started coming out of my room more often and talking to my siblings and sharing how I was feeling, and starting to return phone calls, right, to my friends and loved ones that had been checking up for months, but I just wasn't present. I started trying to incorporate little things that could make me happy, right? For instance, we all have our own happiness and it looks completely different. And I was learning how to do things with one hand again. And when I was able to open up a water bottle on my own, I was like, yes, that's my happiness, right? That feels hella good. But yeah, just doing things to create that joy from within, starting to be vulnerable and speaking about the pain, right? But one thing that really held me back from moving forward and being better was I wasn't ready to accept my reality, right? I was in the dark, in the corner, with like all of this pain, looking at photos from the past and how things were and how I used to be and how I looked. And that was really standing in my way of moving forward. And I feel like when we go through adversity and trauma, trying to accept our reality, it's really hard. Once we're able to do that, it allows us some freedom to move forward. So once I was, okay, this is my new situation, and I'm going to have to make the best of it, however that looks like. So accepting that I was an amputee was really difficult. Actually, to be completely transparent, I wasn't able to accept that until like over 5 years later. And that's the time I was spent self-medicating and drinking and doing all of those things that I shouldn't have been doing. But once I was able to accept that devastating fact, which was very hard, then I was able to start doing the other things, incorporating vulnerability and creating that joy from within. So I realized one thing, that we all go through some type of pain, right? Pain is universal. My pain doesn't look like yours. My loss doesn't look like yours, but it's still pain. And we're all still trying to heal and to move forward. So writing that book and sharing my story to the world was something I knew I needed to do. And also one of my good friends, Patrick Hubbard, you're familiar with him. He kept on nudging me. Write a book. And I was like, me write a book? Me become an author? I don't know. But the sky's the limit, right? I was very determined to continue sharing my message of be better, not bitter. So I decided to take that journey and to become an author and write One Armed but Not Unarmed. That was a very long answer. I apologize. So with that title, One Armed but Not Unarmed, I was on the phone with one of my best guy friends, Khary, and I was telling him about this book and I needed to find a title. I don't know what could be a catchy title, but something powerful and all of those emotions. I mean, all of those things. So he helped me come up with the title One Arm But Not Unarmed. Shout out, Hui.
Hey, shout it out, shout it out.
So he helped me come up with that title, and I love it. And that title to me means one arm, which I clearly am, but not unarmed, meaning that I am still able to do so much, although I may have a quote unquote disability, or I may be labeled as an amputee. I'm still able to do so many things as if I am not unarmed. So that's it.
Talk about powerful. And let me tell y'all, she is doing exactly what you said, just doing above and beyond. I'm telling y'all, I read the accolades earlier, and that's not even including all of the other ones. So my goodness, thank you for just sharing that insight of your journey through this process. And you mentioned you were like, me, come an author? Yes, you, sis, you were made for this. So what were the first thoughts that were going through your mind when you were like, oh my God, my book is finally online. People can go purchase it. I'm an author. Like, how was that moment? What did you feel like?
Yeah, that's great. Great question. Thank you. It was such a interesting journey writing a book, because I feel like there were so many moments where I had to relive the past, and we all know that reliving the past is something that's very difficult. So writing the book was a very interesting journey, because it made me relive the past, because I wanted to write authentically and truthfully and really allow my readers to be in the moment with me. So putting myself back in what I have gone through, what I've tried so hard to move forward from, what all the demons I was fighting, all of those negative emotions, I had to put myself back in those moments, which was really extremely very difficult. But I also knew it was very important for me to speak and write from my heart. There were mornings where I would wake up and just full of tears, puddle of tears, because I literally woke up and would look down and remind myself that I was an amputee. So it was the dreams, just all of those emotions were very raw. So writing that book, it was very painful, to be completely honest, but knowing that it would help others overcome trauma, overcome adversity, and remind my audience that there is nothing that we can't get through, although it's really difficult, and although we all have our own way of healing, and healing takes time. Healing takes time for each and every one of us. It looks different, but I wanted to provide light and love, and just be that person that's able to remind others that we can move forward. Yeah.
That's powerful. Oh my gosh. I know I keep saying powerful, but that's exactly how you are. You are that embodiment and that true essence of that. And you mentioned something earlier I wanted to tap on. You mentioned the small things that we all tend to take for granted, and to see how you picked up everything and you were like, you said, I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to relearn how to curl my hair. I'm going to relearn how to do the things that I was doing. And look at you now. Like, you are soaring, literally soaring. And to be able to take your story, take the journey that you've gone through, and compile it in a book for others to read, I feel like that is amazing on you. We truly appreciate that, because, a lot of individuals who, whether they go through experiences of being an amputee, they feel like that's the end all be all, and they aren't able to move forward. They're not able to be encouraged. And for you to be a beacon of light for individuals, not only amputees, but for myself, for anyone, knowing that you can keep pushing, you can keep moving forward regardless of any adversity that you're going through. So that is powerful. Like, you are literally hitting on all of the points. So if you had to choose one phrase, one quote, a saying from your book that holds weight to you, what would it be and why is it special to you?
Yeah, great question again. Thank you so much for asking that. There is one quote that sticks out from the book, from my life, that I find it so powerful and I resonate with it. And it is, if you don't give your pain the attention it needs, it will continue to return for resolution. And I felt that on every level, because when I wasn't being vulnerable, accepting my reality and isolating myself and doing all of these things to harm myself and numb my pain from reality, that pain was coming back in so many different ways, right? The way I was communicating to people, losing people around me, the way I was harming myself so I could feel better in the moment, right? But after that hangover, after the drug fades, then it's even worse than before. And just that pain always comes back in some way if you don't confront the pain, if you don't recognize the pain, if you don't confront the pain, if you don't try to heal, then that pain will revisit in so many different areas of your life. So that quote to me is extremely powerful. And I believe that many people that go through pain that aren't able to recognize it, confront the pain, and really talk about it and try to heal, then they can find themselves in different negative situations, right?
Let's talk about that.
So I feel like that quote definitely means a lot to me. It's very powerful, and it's something I will always carry with me.
Wow, that hit me where it needed to hit me. That's deep. How important is it, in your opinion, to utilize your story to impact others?
Thank you. Quick story. After my first speaking engagement in front of 1,500 people, no pressure.
Come on, so wait a minute. You said first speaking engagement. 1,500 people, no pressure. I'm receiving all the pressure at this point. Okay, I'm about to foul out.
So my first speaking engagement, shout out to the corporate office of Mattress Firm, right? MFRM. So I love them. Bed Quarters, Mattress Firm, just the greatest people that I worked with. So first speaking engagement was in front of 1,200, 1,500 people. Yeah. And that was just an experience within itself. And after that speaking engagement, I remember walking off stage and getting myself together, pulling it all together, and walking out the doors, and people running up to me and just telling me how my story impacted them. People were getting in touch with me and sharing these stories of their pain. None of them were amputees, but they have experienced pain. They have experienced grief and loss and trauma. So after receiving all of this great information and messages and love from people from across the country, when that video went online, I knew that I needed to continue sharing my message, because it's not for people that lost a limb like me, but it's for people that have lost someone, lost themselves in their own emotional battle.
Even lost themselves.
Yeah, lost themselves or lost others, lost a loved one. I've heard stories of people sharing their pain with me. And once again, our pain looks different. It's not the same loss, but it's loss, and we're grieving, and we're trying our hardest to move forward and to be better instead of being bitter. So that is my inspiration. Yeah.
Can you say it again for everybody? Be better, not bitter.
Be better, not bitter.
See, I love that. That's, oh my gosh.
I'm vanilla, baby. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby. She 28, telling me I'm still a baby. I get love in Detroit like...
Now we're going to make a transition
Okay.
to one of my favorite parts of the show, where we play a game called Underrated or Overrated, where I'll give you maybe four topics or categories, and you either have to tell me if they are underrated or it's overrated within a matter of 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay. I think I got it.
I think I gave my other guest too long. I gave him 12 seconds and then I don't know. So we're going to do 5 seconds and see if that brings some challenging points. So let me get my notes.
I'm always up for a good challenge. Let's go.
Hello, that part. Yes. Is journaling underrated or overrated?
Underrated.
Why?
Because I feel like we should journal more, right? I feel like if we are not speaking about our feelings, not writing them down, we are storing them in our body, which becomes very toxic, and it can increase stress-related illnesses. It can prevent so many negative impacts. So journaling is definitely underrated. We should all journal.
Yep. I journal every morning.
Good.
Yeah.
Hope you journal about me, girl.
Oh, look, I'd be like, pray for Suzan. Okay. And what we have going on, I'd be like, Lord, pray for this documentary that is ahead of us. Okay. Therapy, underrated or overrated?
Underrated as well. I feel like, there may be some people that believe that therapy is for the weak, right? I mean, people think that. I'm not saying it is. Please, just want to make sure. But some people think, oh, I shouldn't go to therapy, and that's not for me, or maybe, that makes me look weak, or I'm stronger than that, I can do it. But therapy is underrated, because having someone to speak to and having an expert, it's something that I encourage. If you feel like you need it, if you're thinking about it, that means yes, go give it a try. Definitely underrated. Therapy is underrated.
That's powerful. And I'm just going to do a shameless plug. Okay. If you are looking for the one and the only happiness coach, the Be Better with Suzan coach, lock in with this queen right here. Okay, that's it. I just wanted to put a plug in there, let people know that she's a coach. She's a happiness coach. Okay, Be Better with what? Suzan, don't play. Whew. Okay, last one. I know we haven't been keeping up with the time, but at this point, we're going to give all passes today. Okay, so how about this? Let's see. The last one. Reading, underrated or overrated?
That's a good one. Again, I will say underrated. I feel like reading can be therapeutic. Whatever you're into, whatever book you're interested in, I feel like when you're able to be in that moment and read, it takes your mind off of things from that moment. And once again, you're able to learn so much from reading, right? You're able to see things differently. It changes your perspective.
Yep.
It helps you, the author helps you paint a picture of whatever they're experiencing or what they're going through. And it's actually really beautiful to be able to read a book, to complete it, and to really get lost in that moment with the author. I think that's really dope. So underrated.
I love how you said get lost in the moment with the author. Come on. Don't steal any tags, lines, anything. That's all over here, okay? Oh, I like that. I like that. Oh, okay.
Oh,
underrated, overrated. Did I tell you? You look amazing, by the way. I wanted to let you know.
Thank you so much.
You
I
so
appreciate
gorgeous.
you.
Ooh, so, oh my gosh. So, what's next, sis? What you got on the agenda?
Okay. That's a fun question. So I am now with two speaking agents, right? So one is for corporate, one is for higher ed.
Period.
Yeah. So if anyone,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. If anyone is looking for a speaker for an event, a wellness retreat, your corporate events, offsites, whatever that is, feel free to let me know. So I do speak in the higher ed umbrella as well, high school, middle school, college, universities. So I am continuing to do that, which I love. I feel like that is my purpose. It's my passion, is to share my story and to remind others that we can move forward. So speaking, that's something that I always am looking forward to. I'm been approached to write a children's book. So that's something that I think would be really cool to do. Thank you. And also, so many reasons, but being at a young age and in today's society, internet culture, so many different factors on how it can negatively impact the youth. And I I can't even imagine being at that age and experiencing social media the way that we do, and the comparisons and just everything in the world right now. It's different, right?
Yeah.
So a younger person processing that information and trying to manage it and understand it and speak about it can be difficult. So yeah, possibly a children's book, being able to share my story in a kid-friendly, fun-friendly way, to remind children also that we may look different and be different, but we're all good inside, right?
Yes. Well, kudos to you on the children's book. That is an amazing. I was trying to say amazing and accomplishment.
Okay,
and
I have a couple more.
life-changing.
Should I continue? Should I go?
Yeah. Oh, look. I was kind of confused for a second. My bad.
We're a hot mess today. Okay. No, because I didn't want to cut you off, and I was like, does she think I'm done? I was really confused. After you said amazing, I was like, amazing.
Well, that is amazing. Okay,
Okay.
that you're writing a children's book. We definitely have to have you back on for the children's book. Okay, just putting that in your ear.
I would love that. Yeah, so that is something that I am setting a goal to do. I think that would be very impactful for today's society and the youth, and just reminding the younger generation that there's nothing we can't get through, and we may look different and be different, but it's all what's inside that matters. And
Wow.
so coaching as well, I'm continuing to do that, coaching others to create that joy from within and peeling back the layers. There's so many layers in order to create that joy from within, and that's what I needed to do. For instance, our limiting beliefs, right, and how we grew up and how we're conditioned, right, and it's about retraining our brain to see things differently, so continuing to coach and help others as well to create that joy. And I've been doing some really cool shoots with different brands, right?
Awesome.
Adaptive modeling, right?
Yeah.
So been doing more of that, which has been a ton of fun. And some really cool things in the pipeline. But of course, I'll mention that when the time is right.
Yes, well, we're excited. We're eager. In the meantime, please let everyone know where they can connect with you, where they can grow with you, and how they can follow you and just tap in with Suzan.
Suzan, thank you. So you can reach me at bbnbcoaching.com. That's Be Better Not Bitter, bbnbcoaching.com. On IG, I'm under Be Better Ambassador. And fun fact, if you just go to Google and type in Suzan Nguyen, then it'll give you different updates of the projects I'm working on, what I'm doing, what I've done, all the media interviews, and ways to get in touch with me as well. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. I truly appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for joining me today. It has been a blast. It's never a dull moment when we are in the same room and we are just bouncing off our energies with each other. So I just love you so much. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing all of the amazing things that you're going to be doing. Look, I got that right that time. I said amazing. And we just look forward to locking in with you. So it's a wrap for today, you guys. I truly appreciate it. Please make sure you
You're almost there, girl.
I'm almost there. That's what happens. We're going to keep on rolling. I don't know what I was trying to say. But before anything, make sure you are following us on all streaming platforms, tuning in, locking in, subscribe, do all of the usuals, okay? We will be dropping content each and every Friday. And remember, in the meantime, to be bold, don't fold, and come to the fire as gold. We out.